Last week on Cinematica, we revisited the sophomore year of the greatest zombie TV show of all time, The Walking Dead Season 2. We heard how they overcame the loss of their fearless leader Frank Darabont and shook up the cast with 2 major character deaths. Makes you wonder how they plan to top all that drama in the coming seasons. Think you know the whole story? Think again. I'm Elissa with Cinematica, and we're here to give you the inside scoop on how the cast and crew move forward in a bigger and bolder way with The Walking Dead Seasons 3 and 4. From new characters to new threats, audiences couldn't imagine what was in store for their beloved survivors. So get ready, because Cinematica is counting down the 107 facts you should know about The Walking Dead Seasons 3 and 4. Let's get started. Number 1. When Season 3 starts, it's been 7 to 8 months since we left off. This was the biggest time skip for the series to date, which avoided showing winter completely. Number 2. Like Season 2, Season 3 had a companion web series entitled Cold Storage. It premiered on October 1st, 2012, ahead of the release of Season 3. Number 3. The walkers have aged even further. This season, the team used grayer makeup and material to make them look even more decayed and decomposed from the sun. Number 4. Pardon Glenn Mazzara's French. He once pitched a scene for the show that would be set in a French laboratory with subtitles used. However, no one else got on board. Number 5. In the Season 3 premiere Seed, Herschel is bitten by a walker while stepping over it and has to have his leg amputated. In the comics, however, this fate is suffered by Dale instead, as he hadn't died yet. Number 6. Prisons aren't cheap. It costs $1.5 million to convert the interior and exterior of the studio space into a jail with actual working plumbing. Number 7. Walkers made the prison this way. Actually, it was just one walker, Graham Grace Walker, who also did production design on Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome and House of Wax. Number 8. The lines that Maggie say in Seed to an unconscious Herschel were inspired by showrunner Glenn Mazzara's actual final words to his dying mother. He says that writing the scene was therapeutic. Number 9. When Sarah Wayne Callies and Andrew Lincoln shot the post-campfire scene, Callies improvised a line as Rick walked away. She said, "Good night, love," and Lincoln later said it was the most heartbreaking thing he'd ever heard her say, but the cameras were no longer rolling at the time. She later incorporated it into her death sequence, still directed at Rick despite his absence. Number 10. Being bitten is tiring. In the second episode of Season 3, Sick, Scott Wilson would often fall asleep during the scenes in which Herschel was lying unconscious. Number 11. The prisoners in the show are pretty different from the prisoners seen in the comic. In the comics, it's Axel, Thomas, Andrew, and Dexter. The show swaps Dexter for Andrew and adds Big Tiny as an original character. Also in the comics, they appear to be surviving pretty loftily in the prison, while the show has them struggling more. Number 12. Theodis Crane, who plays Big Tiny, practices martial arts and holds a title in Sanshao, the Chinese form of kickboxing. Maybe you should have busted out some of those skills on Tomas. Number 13. You're gonna need a bigger tank. According to Greg Nicotero, one of the heads in the governor's giant tank is Ben Gardner's from Jaws. Number 14. The governor's wife, seen in his family photo in the episode Walk With Me, is Denise Huth. She's one of the producers of The Walking Dead. Number 15. According to Robert Kirkman, the character of Milton was based on one of the writers who frequently drinks tea. This was later confirmed to be Scott Gimple, Season 4's showrunner. Number 16. Dallas Roberts, who played Milton, says he intended to present the character as having Asperger's, and he's been praised for his positive representation. Number 17. T-Dog really did save Carol in Season 3's 4th episode, Killer Within. She was originally supposed to die in this episode, but the producers decided to kill off T-Dog instead. Number 18. For the scene in which Rick learns of Lori's death, Lincoln asked Callies not to be on set. However, she says that she could hear him screaming from the trailers and gave him a big hug when the scene was done to remind him that Lori died, not her. Number 19. Lincoln listened to Snow Patrol set fire to the 3rd bar to get in the headspace for the announcement of Lori's death. He warns against listening to it as you, quote, might end up collapsing, end quote. Number 20. Frank Darabont had actually considered sparing Lori despite Callie's attempts to convince him of her death's importance. When Mazzara took over, however, he set it on track and ended up informing Callie's of her demise while on the way to the airport to see his dying mother. Number 21. A family that slays together stays together, even in death. The cast is always present for the taping of each other's death scenes. Even the departing actor makes a speech, and everyone then goes out for what they call a death dinner. Number 22. Jose Pablo Cantillo, who plays Caesar, based his zombie pit moves off of his brother. Manny, a capoeira fighter, would protect him back in school. Number 23. There's a Dawn of the Dead cameo in the episode Say the Word, the zombie flyboy. Number 24. The Andrea-Governor relationship never happens in the comics. In those, she's still with Dale, gross, and this also happens to be the second antagonists she slept with in the show, the first being Shane. Girl needs better taste in men. Number 25. Hello from the Other Side? In the comic, Rick's hallucinatory phone calls don't happen in the prison, but instead, it's in a house after they've already left. Also, he somehow isn't able to recognize that the voice is Lori, which I guess is what happens in print media. Number 26. Michael Rooker lost 28 pounds before returning as Merle. And oh yeah, he lost his arm too. Number 27. As horrible as the governor may be, he's worse in the comics. In the show, the governor intimidates Maggie by forcing her to strip halfway down, but abandons his threats when it's clear they're not going anywhere. In the comics, however, it's Michonne that's subject to his assault, and he takes it too far. This explains her resentment for him, which plays in the show more like distrust. Number 28. John Bernthal returned as Shane in Made to Suffer, but a little hairier. He had a beard for his role in Wolf of Wall Street and couldn't shave it, so Rick just, hallucinates it onto him. Number 29. Sasha wasn't a character in the comics. Actress Sonequa Martin Green originally auditioned to play Michonne, but lost out to Denai Guerrera. Mazzara liked her so much, however, that they wrote the role just for her. Number 30. The 9th episode of Season 3, Suicide King, features a cameo from special makeup artist Greg Nicotero and the on-set animal coordinator Greg Trisson. Because Trisson had less animals to coordinate, he played the Woodbury Man being torn apart by walkers. Nicotero played one of those walkers. Number 31. This was the same episode NFL player Hines Ward also cameoed. As Rick and the gang escape from Woodbury, he can be seen approaching the group and is shot down by Maggie. Number 32. The truck full of zombies that the governor drops into the prison during the episode Home is called a walker bomb, according to Talking Dead and the show's Facebook page. Number 33. Zombies aren't the only problem on set. Some of the scenes, such as the bridge sequence and the attack on the prison, were complicated by Hurricane Isaac. Number 34. Axel's body double wasn't actually a double of actor Lou Temple. It was really a mold of Nicotero. Temple, however, says that he's honored that Nicotero's double doubled for the trouble. Number 35. Nicotero wanted a different ending for the episode I Ain't a Judas. According to him, Andrea would actually have gone through with slitting the governor's throat, proving her loyalty to the prison. Later, it would be revealed that the murder attempt failed, though he thinks it would have agreed better with her character. Number 36. Morgan makes his return in Clear, the 12th episode of Season 3, after being absent since the series premiere. But apparently, the producers intended him to appear sooner in the second season, but actor Lenny James was busy and unable to make it back in time. Number 37. Jamie N. Cummins' Lead Me Home, heard in Clear, was written just for the show. He sent it to the producers after having binge-watched the other seasons and based the song itself off the feel of the show. Number 38. The original title of the episode, Arrow on the Doorpost, was Pale Horse, named after a scene in which Daryl finds a headless horseman riding on a still-living horse. Number 39. The current title, Arrow on the Doorpost, may be an allusion to the Native American practice of planting a tomahawk or arrow into the doorpost during the beginning of a conflict, and not removing it until the conflict is resolved. This certainly fits the theme of the episode. Number 40. According to Mazzara, the original title of Prey was Killer Within Part 2. Number 41. Travis Love, who plays the governor's crony Shumpert, also played a thug in Vatos in the Season 1 episode of the same name. However, it is unclear if they are the same character. Number 42. In a cut plotline from This Sorrowful Life, the penultimate episode of Season 3, Andrea and Milton attempted an assassination of the governor by planting a bomb in his house. However, this didn't feel tonally right for the show, so the sequence was scrapped. Merle's death filled the void left by this plotline. Number 43. Merle's last words, "I'm not begging you," weren't to the governor. According to Rooker, they were directed towards God. Number 44. Dying was scary for Dallas Roberts. He actually had a phobia of contact lenses, so putting them in freaked him out. Number 45. Andrea's fate was originally much different. According to Holden, she was set up to become the new leader of Woodbury, but this was changed just weeks before the episode entered production. Seemingly, it was the decision of Mazzara and nobody else to kill her off for shock value. Supposedly, this is why he lost his job as showrunner, but we'll get to that later. Number 46. Andrea's death scene had two versions. The first time they shot it, Tyrese and Sasha find her bitten and give her the gun to kill herself. However, it was deemed that Rick, Daryl, and Michonne, her actual friends, should be the ones to find her and give her death more weight, so everyone was called back to pick up the new sequence. Number 47. Additional war footage was filmed inside the tombs of the prison, in which some of the extras seen in Woodbury are killed by Rick's group. However, it was cut from the episode. Number 48. Sudden death. Many of the characters' deaths this season, including Andrea, as we mentioned, Axel, and Merle, were all last-minute decisions and not originally planned out. Number 49. The show is really lending Rick a hand. In the comics, the governor actually captured him and cut it off. Kirkman, however, says that he regrets doing that and that having it happen in the show would lead to all kinds of inconveniences. Number 50. The least viewed episode of Season 3 was Hounded. Number 51. The most viewed episode of Season 3 was the finale, Welcome to the Tombs. Number 52. The Season 3 body count? Approximately 403. Oh boy. Number 53. The biggest walker killer of the season was Rick with 44. However, the governor was the biggest human killer with 31. Number 54. The episodes Made to Suffer and This Sorrowful Life both shared names with volumes of the Walking Dead comics. However, they pop up in a different order. Number 55. Going into Season 4, the showrunner changed again. Surprise, surprise. This time, Scott Gimple took over for Glenn Mazzara, who was dismissed for creative reasons. Number 56. Gimple had previously written on a variety of shows, including American Dragon Jake Long, Flash Forward, and episodes of The Walking Dead, such as Clear and Pretty Much Dead Already. Number 57. Season 4 continued the seasonal tradition of having a companion web series. This time, it was called The Oath, airing a few weeks prior to the season premiere. Number 58. The farm in the prison courtyard is real. In fact, the cast and crew frequently ate from it. Number 59. Due to rain in Georgia around the time of production, one of the locations for the first episode, 30 Days Without an Accident, was flooded. The set was already prepared, and a lot of it ended up floating away. They had to find a new location last minute. Number 60. In one scene during 30 Days Without an Accident, Herschel's prosthetic leg can be seen poking out, so Wilson had to bury his real leg in the ground up to the knee to conceal it. Number 61. The show gives a shout out to Telltale's Walking Dead games. When Michonne is looking at her map, tracking the governor, she notes Macon, a significant setting of the games. Kirkman says that this is an allusion to that series. Number 62. The prison piglets were named Bandit, Truffle, Pork, Chop, and Chaps. They would often poop on Andrew Lincoln when he held them. Number 63. There was supposed to be a moat around the prison this season, but during the construction of it, they hit quicksand and were forced to stop. Number 64. Michonne's not just a samurai, she's a cowboy. Guerrera picked out her own horse, Chase, and did all of her own stunts. She should be on Deadliest Warrior. Number 65. The mega horde of zombies in Season 4 episode Isolation was bigger than any that had been on the show before. It consisted of about 100 practical zombie extras, with CGI zombies filling in the rest. Number 66. Recognize Sam? That's Robin Lord Taylor, who would later star as the Penguin in another comic book-based show, Gotham. Number 67. Laurie Holden and Melissa Ponzio, who played Tyrese's now charred girlfriend Karen, had invented a backstory for the character in which she was a teacher at Woodbury, which is why she was so concerned about the kids being in the Woodbury Army. Number 68. The episode Live Bait is actually based on the Rise of the Governor novel, as opposed to the comics like the rest of the show. Elements like the Chalmers family or the governor changing his name are allusions to that novel. Number 69. The original title of Live Bait was Rise, as in Rise of the Governor, the novel that the episodes are largely inspired by. Number 70. Governor or Pirate. In one shot, the disheveled governor was placed in front of this parrot pillow so that he'd resemble a pirate. Number 71. The governor Philip picks up the new name Brian. In the novel, the governor's real name is Brian, but he picks up the name Philip, who was his older brother. Number 72. Lily Chalmers is based off of Lily Call, a character from the comics, and April Chalmers from the novels. Unlike Lily Chalmers, Lily Call doesn't die and now heads up Woodbury in her own novel. Number 73. Wilson isn't losing his head over leaving the show. Nicotera gave him a duplicate of the decapitated one used on set, which Wilson keeps in a bag in his closet. Number 74. The death of Herschel was a really suspenseful day on set. According to Wilson, the cast and crew all wore suspenders to honor the fallen farmer. Number 75. How do you know too many people have died? Well, according to David Morrissey, the death dinners that the actors throw after a character's demise had to be moved from restaurants and bars to private houses because people saw them and began to realize that someone had died. Number 76. Ernest Dickerson is out for Herschel's blood. He directed Wilson's first episode, then the Season 4 premiere where his leg is amputated, and now the episode in which he's decapitated, Too Far Gone. Wilson claims they're good friends, but Number 77. When Carl is tying the wire around the door in the episode after, he was originally supposed to tell Rick that Dale taught him how to do it. However, the line was changed to say that Shane taught him to increase the tension between the father and son in this episode. Number 78. During the taping of Michonne's Forest Walker battle, Nicotero, who was directing, didn't call cut, but Guerrera continued slashing along, executing about 10 unscripted, unchoreographed zombie kills. Number 79. Rick's line at the end of the episode after "It's for you" is one of Andrew Lincoln's favorites. In fact, he signed it for a fan prior to the release of the episode when asked to write his favorite line. When the fan asked what episode it was from, Lincoln said, "To wait and see." Number 80. Jack Goodman from American Werewolf in London cameos in After. He can be seen as one of the walkers tailing Michonne. Number 81. Life imitating art, Abraham, Eugene, and Rosita's appearance at the end of the episode mirrors their poses from the cover of issue 53 of the comic. Number 82. The backpack that Glenn uses to pack supplies and inmates is the same one that Rick, Michonne, and Carl got from the hitchhiker in Clear last season. Number 83. Lincoln jumped down from the roof himself without a stunt double. The scarier part, though, was Norman Reedus was mooning him from below. Number 84. The drug dealer described by Daryl, a janky little white guy who pulled out a gun and says, "I'm gonna kill you, bitch," is widely considered to be a homage to the Breaking Bad character Jesse Pinkman. Number 85. The portraits of the former club presidents in still are actual headshots of people from the crew. Number 86. In the funeral parlor, Beth sings the song "Be Good" by Waxahachie. Actress Emily Kinney later featured a recording of the song on her EP, Expired Love. Number 87. According to Sonequa Martin Green, Sasha was a firefighter before the zombie outbreak. Number 88. According to Gimple, Lizzie and Micah were supposed to be differently gendered twins, with Micah being a boy named Mike. However, upon seeing Kyla Kennedy's audition, they canned that and cast her to be Micah. Number 89. The deaths of Lizzie and Micah are adapted from a similar plotline in the comics involving Ben, Billy, and Carl. Carl kills Ben after he murders Billy, just as Carol kills Lizzie for murdering Micah. Number 90. The puzzle that Carol and Tyrese are working on in the episode The Grove is actually a photo of Sophia from season 2. Number 91. The Grove marks the longest consecutive absence of Rick. 3 episodes. Nicotero has said that this was intentional to show how divided the group is. Number 92. Brighton Charbino and Kyla Kennedy, who played Micah and Lizzie, released a song called Begin Again that was based on the events of this episode. Number 93. The penultimate episode of season 4, Us, was shot during Halloween, so the cast and crew dressed up on set for the holiday. Number 94. It's the day of the Walking Dead. Bub from Day of the Dead makes a cameo in the tunnel during Us. Glenn shines a light on him in The Horde. Number 95. David S. Goyer of Dark Knight Trilogy fame was supposed to direct Us, but had to drop out due to scheduling conflicts. Nicotero took over the episode. Number 96. The Terminus sequence in the season 4 finale, A, is foreshadowed by Farmer Rick. Earlier in the episode, he teaches Carl that a snare traps animals by leading them down a path, just as the termites lead them to the boxcar with their gunfire. He also instructed Carl not to name the pigs. Notice how Gareth doesn't call Rick and the gang by their names. Number 97. The flashback scenes were shot at the very end of production, as the actor's hair had to be cut shorter so it would match the time period. Number 98. The actual shooting location of Terminus is close to Atlanta. The skyline and notable landmarks had to be digitally removed from certain shots as to conceal this. Number 99. According to Lincoln, the filmed encounter with the Claimers was more graphic than the one that aired and was directed as such. This, he says, explains the desperation of ripping out Joe's throat. Number 100. The Walking Dead is always brutal, but Lincoln was particularly concerned about Rick's brutality in dispatching the Claimers. In fact, he called Gimple to question whether or not the scene was taking it too far. That is saying something. Number 101. Tastes like chicken. For the scene in A in which Rick tears into Joe's throat, Andrew Lincoln was offered a choice of beef or chicken. He went with the chicken, which was inserted into a prosthetic on the actor's neck and then torn out raw. Lincoln says he doesn't remember much of what happened after they called action. Number 102. In the comics, Rick famously delivers the line, "They're f***ing with the wrong people." The show, of course, was unable to say that due to profanity regulations, so on the show, it was changed to screwing. However, an alternate version of the scene was filmed in which Lincoln delivered the original version of the line. Number 103. The cult-looking room in Terminus, with names scrawled out on the ground, is called the Church, and is a memorial to all the people the termites have lost. It was, at one point, speculated that this room was dedicated to their victims, assumed by the clear keepsakes on the floor, similar to those taken from Glenn's group. Number 104. The least viewed episode of season 4 was part 2 of the Governor episode's Dead Weight. Number 105. The most viewed episode of season 4 was 30 Days Without an Accident, the season premiere. This is the first time a season premiere beat out a season finale in ratings. Number 106. Daryl took the spot of top walker killer this season with a grand total of 47 on-screen kills. Number 107. The season 4 body count, approximately 432. Yikes. Thanks for watching Cinematica's 107 Facts You Should Know About The Walking Dead Seasons 3 and 4. Like what you just saw, we've got 107 Facts You Should Know About The Walking Dead in Season 5 coming out next week. And if you love obsessing over movies and TV, be sure to tell your friends. Like this video and subscribe to Cinematica, where we help you watch smarter.